Hi, I'm Lydia Rackham, and I am doing books for my candy dish, where I just pull one of my book titles out of this antique candy dish, and I talk about it for 10 minutes. And I don't know. It's off the cuff. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've thought about a lot of these, so it's always just a fun little exercise. So, all right, let me see. Tide. Oh, I like this one a lot. Okay. Set a timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, counting down.
Okay, Tide. So, Tide is the third installment in my Cursebreaker series. So the first one was Scales, which was a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, where it was flipped around. The Beast was the princess, and the Beauty was a traveling minstrel who found her in this castle. And I won't give it away. But, it's Beauty and the Beast. Come on. And I'm not going to do anything bad. Like I don't kill everyone at the end. Don't do that. And the next one is Glass, which is a retelling of the Snow Queen. And that takes place in the same kingdom realm. And with just a different main curse breaker. But it refers back to a curse breaker culture that was in Scales. And you actually, in Glass, this is what happened. At the beginning of Glass, Rose is there in the mountain fortress with the other curse breakers, and they receive word that the prince of this castle of Glass, G-L-A-S, Gloss probably, that no one has been to for generations. He is sending word out and that he needs help. He's suffering from headaches. He needs a healer. And the person that came and brought the message, I wasn't expecting this, okay? I knew somebody had to come and bring the message, and it had to be a seasoned curse breaker. Sometimes characters just leap out of nothingness and into reality. And this guy's name is Galahad Stormcrane. Now, Galahad is the name of King Arthur, one of King Arthur's knights, the pure one. He is actually the son of Lancelot, and he has such a pure heart that he's apparently the only one who can touch the Holy Grail when they finally find it. And so I liked the name Galahad because it's strong and heroic, and it speaks of a pure intention. But then Stormcrane, it's kind of calls back to, like, do you know how in Lord of the Rings, in the Two Towers, Gandalf gets called Stormcrow. So it's just kind of like this, like a bird, but like it brings the thunder. Like this is a swooping down of a powerful. But then a Stormcrane to me seems like even a bigger bird. Big wings, darkness, dark clouds. So the name speaks for himself itself. You can kind of picture him already without me describing him. So he walked in with this name and looking like this. And if you didn't know better, you might think he was a bad guy, because the person that I thought of when I was writing it, when I imagined him in the first place, was Kylo Ren from the Star Wars, that I wound up not liking very much. But I think that Adam Driver in those films was a fantastic actor, and he did a great job with what they gave him. And again, I'd never seen him before until I saw The Force Awakens, and I thought that he was really, really interesting, especially the scarring and stuff like that. So that's what I used. I put a scar. I always put scars on my most favorite characters. They're just interesting. It probably comes back to Phantom of the Opera, but because it tells a story. I love scars on people. I love because even like scars or stretch marks or anything. I don't ever think that those look ugly. I always think that they are fascinating, and um, they've shown that you've been somewhere, you've been through something. Who wants a perfect body? Nobody, because you'd live like a Barbie doll. So I love scarring, especially on characters, because it's like, ooh, tell me that story. How'd you get that? No, don't go there with any Joker references. But anyway, so I just knew. I was like, oh gosh, he's got to be a bigger person than just this messenger. Because I set him up in this as a like legendary Cursebreaker. Well, if he's legendary, then he has to have done something and continue to do something. And so I'm not sure where I got the idea to do the Little Mermaid, except I think I double checked to make sure that it was in the public domain. It is, has been for a while. Also, it's a crappy story. Like the original is terrible. Where she loves the prince, but he doesn't love her, and then he loves somebody else, and then the Little Mermaid turns into foam. I mean, but I thought, what if we did that same exact story? Like what happens if the prince does not want to love the mermaid, like in the Disney one? What happens there? That is a problem. And I put even more of a problem on it because we got into there are these seals that protect the realm from evil. And of course, you have to have the sea witch in there. Like, what if you make the sea witch just this fundamental, like, devil that is in the sea? Like, the scariest things about the ocean that you can think of. Like that feeling that you get when you're watching a documentary about a sunken ship, or like you get this feeling when you watch the beginning of Titanic, where you're going along in the dark water, and then all of a sudden this shape comes at you out of the darkness, and it's a ship hull. And something about that is so haunting. It's mesmerizing, but it gives you the creeps at the same time. Like, that's wrong. Like, to see a ship under the water is wrong. It should not be under there. So that's the evil that could spill up and over and into the world if something happens to this seal and the guardian of it. So what if this mermaid is supposed to be the guardian of this seal, but she has abandoned her duty because she's made a deal with the sea witch so that she can go and marry a prince that she fell in love with because she rescued him. And now all the alarm bells are going off in Cursebreaker land because they're like, the seal is unprotected. What is going on? And so they send their greatest and best Cursebreaker to go and solve the problem. And that would be him, Galahad Stormcrane. And he's crabby. He's crabby about this because for him, duty above all. And he can't imagine abandoning his duty for love. And of course, this mermaid cannot speak. Can't talk. And he has to try to get this prince to fall in love with her, or she'll die. And if she dies, then the seal will be up for grabs, and the sea witch will get it. But what happens when Galahad starts to feel a little bit more attached to this little mermaid than he's supposed to? Yeah. So it was really, for the whole Cursebreaker series, I center around a castle also. Um, in Scales, it was a very homey castle. It was small, just something that like a wealthy family would live in, not royalty, just like a small castle. So it had little cutesy places like the kitchen and the library and an attic, and it's kind of pokey and cozy. Um, so that was with the garden back there. So I fleshed all of that out, like what the place is like. And then Glass is totally opposite from that. Like the one in Scales is warm and cozy and you want to stay there. In Glass, it's a showpiece. But I don't know if you really want to live there. Like even in its nice time, I don't know if you really. It's made of indestructible glass that's all different colors, and it's a fantastic, huge castle. I mean, I imagine the one from like Beauty and the Beast, the film, but made of glass. So it's those pointy towers and all of these like swoopy, you know, um, balconies and all this stuff all around of just all of these beautiful, gorgeous colors that, when the sun goes through, it's just spectacular. Um, and then inside is just continual marvels made of glass. Layers upon layers of glass and designs and paint. It's just a fantasy of color and light. Um, all hard though. I mean, so you can imagine what it would be like to have that place surrounded in snow and ice, and then it's all made of glass. Like the place is freezing. Like you ice skate from one room to the other because it's you couldn't get any colder, and it wasn't meant to be like that. It was meant to have the sun go through it and have it be warm. So um, that's the case with that castle. And then this castle is set upon a high hill right by the ocean, and it is more Mediterranean feeling, domed roofs, and it's white, and there's statues of fish and all kinds of things all around it. It's um, very very fresh and bright, and overlooking the beautiful ocean, and with stair step gardens down, like terraced gardens that are coming down. That's how you go up to it. With a meadow on one side, and then there's forests over here. So it's all just very lovely because each place is a reflective of the prince that lives there, or princess in the case of the first one. In the first one, um, Elle was very. She loves gardening. She loves comfort, and she's not really into a whole lot of lavishness. Well, and then Glass, Prince Christian, um, looked glorious himself. He was a very very beautiful person to look at, but cold all the way to the inside because of the curse that was placed upon him. And so he needed light to come in so you could see his true beauty from the inside. And then that's not Prince Christian. That's not his name. That's Christian is in Curse Maker. Oh, what's his name? Oh no, can you believe that? I forgot that prince. No, what's his name? Help me, help me, help me. No, do I have to look it up? This is what happens when you write too many books. I'm gonna feel stupid. Prince, what's his name? This is embarrassing. Come on, what's his name? Brainbird. Do I not have his name in there? I don't. That's what the problem is. I want to look inside. No. It's Rose, and you guys, you're just gonna have to deal with it. Prince Christian is in Curse Maker. And why is it going away from my brain right now? There are too many characters. Anyway, so the prince in this one is very straightforward. He's just a sweet, good, noble man. The person I thought of for him, I don't even know if I know the actor's name, but I first saw him in Into the Woods, the Disney Into the Woods, which I hate. Hate the show, hate everything about it. But he played Rapunzel's prince in that. He's very blonde. And then he showed up again in the live action of Aladdin. He was the prince that came from, I think, Russia or something. He would not be a good fit down there. He would be too hot. But I thought he was just like this quintessential perfect looking prince. So that's what he looks like. I can't believe I forgot. Oh well. Okay, next time.